The best products that American car makers make aren't cars. They're full-size pickup trucks, like this 2026 Ram 1500 and the 2026 GMC Sierra 1500. At the mid and top of the price spectrum, I'll show you what both of these 4x4s have to offer in terms of luxury equipment, powertrains, and capability. These trucks were brand new for 2019. GMC refreshed the Sierra for 2022, Ram for 2025. Yes, these trucks are nowhere near each other in exact price tags and trim, but we've driven so many of them that we're going to be able to show you the actual differences. Keep watching. The Sierra has been pretty handsome for the last several model years, and on this Denali Ultimate, which is one better than a regular Denali, you're getting a grayed out GMC logo. There are unique grille designs for all of the Sierra 1500 trims. These wheels are the largest 22 inches, and while there's chrome on the door handles and on these power deployable side steps, there's not that much going on here in terms of the frippery, in terms of extraneous design. It's a classic looking truck in this crew cab configuration with the short bed, which I think on the Sierra looks best, especially on a luxury truck costing almost $90,000. It's certainly fitting. I prefer the Ram's slimmer horizontal headlights, but I also like how Ram changes the grille design just like GMC across all of its trim levels. The one here, the Warlock, is more of a working grade off-road trim. You can get that on the Sierra 1500 AT4, and like that truck, you got the exposed tow hooks, you got metal front and rear bumpers, which I really like. This has a lift, Bilstein shocks, all-terrain tires. Now, if you're stepping up to the tungsten, that is the top trim. You're getting the 22-inch wheels. You're getting the chrome. You're seeing all of the nice design elements and the nicer paints that you'll find on the Sierra's Denali Ultimate trim. So pound for pound, inch by inch, both of these trucks are very, very similar in terms of the type of equipment they have. I tend to prefer the way the Ram looks. That's just me. The Warlock has a higher ground clearance, about 10 inches on this trim. But if you compare the same trims, it's about 8.1 inches for both trucks. The GMC has a 3-inch longer wheelbase, but the Ram is an inch longer overall. It also has about another inch in width and 2 inches extra height. The Sierra makes its power the old way, a 6.2-liter V8 naturally aspirated, and the numbers are good. 420 horsepower, 460 pound-feet. That's the standard engine on the Denali Ultimate. It's optional on several other trims, and really it's unavailable on a lot of the mid and the lower trims, but there's 4 engines in total. There's a turbo 4-cylinder, which actually has a lot of torque. We've driven that in the Chevy, and it actually is excellent for what it is at the lower end of the Sierra lineup. And there's 2 V8s, this 6.2, the 5.3, and there's also a turbo diesel 6, which Ram no longer offers. Fuel efficiency on this top trim, obviously not very great. You're getting in the teens, it's not even cracking in the 20s. If you get the diesel, depending if it's 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive, you can hit to the mid to the high 20s on the highway. So that's really good, and that is better than Ram. But Ram's inline 6, though, is making better efficiency, though, or the same efficiency at the higher output. There's nothing fancy going on here with any of the drivetrains. It's got a low range, but there's no locking diffs, anything like that. If you do want it, there's the AT4X, which we've also tested, so watch that review. And that one has a lot of off-road goodies that a lot of other trucks, including the Ram, don't offer in the light-duty class. Now, GMC offers Super Cruise, and it's standard on this top trim. It is, I still think, the best among all hands-free driving systems, and this lets you essentially keep your hands off the wheel. I've driven it before, so there's no need to show you here. You can watch our previous reviews of other GM vehicles. It's only gotten better over time. You have to have a valid OnStar subscription, but it works really, really well. Now, the Sierra is a quiet truck. It always has been. And the ride is good. You can't get Magna Ride dampers on the Sierra, but they are adaptive, and wind noise is generally pretty muted. So I'd say it's good, but does the ride quality beat the Rams? No. The V8 sounds really good. I will give it that. And even in sport mode, it's not as responsive as the inline 6 and the Ram. And that's just due to those turbochargers getting more low-end torque where it's really needed. You can push this V8 and it'll make more noise, good noise, but it doesn't actually give you better momentum. Steering weighting is good. It's a little bit sloppy off-center. The Ram also does a better job at that. This is good, but it's definitely not up to what the Ram is at. And while ride quality doesn't match the same comfort as the Ram, especially those with the air suspension, body control is good. And that's something that General Motors pretty much always aces across, whether it's trucks, cars, SUVs. So that I like. And weirdly enough, I would say that Sierra EV, which we've also reviewed multiple times, watch those reviews, that one handles even better than this despite weighing thousands of pounds more. All these full-size trucks drive really well. They ride well. There's just varying degrees of it. Braking on the Sierra, good, but not as good as the Rams. The Rams has such larger front brake rotors, and you have to pay a lot extra at GM or Chevy or GMC, any of those brands, to get the bigger Brembos. Off the line, it's the Hurricane that wins the race. Equal amount of horsepower, 420, as the GMC Sierra's 6.2-liter V8 for an engine of half the displacement, 2 turbochargers. There's also roughly about the same amount of torque, 469 pound-feet, and the GMC is 460. Also an 8-speed automatic transmission. They're both heavy. There's really no weight savings of any significance between either of these trucks. Yes, there's more equipment on the GMC, but we've driven many other variants of the Ram 1500 with this engine, higher trims they're slightly heavier, but not much. And it's just the power delivery of this engine. It's so good. For 2026, Ram now offers the Hemi V8. It's back. It was gone for a year. So that 5.7-liter engine most directly compares with GMC's 6.2-liter in terms of the sound and the power delivery, but Ram also ups the ante. They add a mild hybrid assist. It's a 48-volt system that takes some of the load off the engine for the accessories and also does some torque fill. So at lower speeds, it'll assist the V8 engine to give it a little bit more oomph at those lower speeds. That's not something that GMC delivers. There's also another higher output version of this same Hurricane Inline 6. So in the Tungsten, which we've driven, 540 horsepower. Torque is also up. It's the same engine, just a different tune. In the base trim though, it's the GMC that has a better base engine. Sierra has a Turbo 4, this has a 3.6-liter V6, and despite making just over 300 horsepower, it's coarse, it's loud, it's not a very good engine, it's an old Chrysler engine. So GMC has the better base engine on these lower trims, but if you can get the Hurricane, it doesn't actually cost all that much more on a lot of the Ram 1500 trims, and on vehicles like the Tungsten and the RHO, it's standard, of course. But this engine is more modern, it's silkier, it's very European in how it's smooth. It's a better engine. It's better than Ram's Hemi. I'm just gonna say it. I like the fact that the Hemi is back, but the Hurricane is just more refined. And for truck duty, whether it's for commuting, towing, you're gonna get more response, more pleasure out of this engine. Fuel efficiency from trim to trim actually isn't better in the Ram Tungsten versus the Sierra Denali Ultimate with those top trims, top weights, everything like that. The numbers are both bad, so despite it being a smaller 6-cylinder engine with that much power and that much weight, it's not actually better. But if you're getting regular versions, lower output versions of the Ram's Hurricane Inline 6, the efficiency is a bit better, 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive versus the Sierra. But the Sierra still offers a diesel, which is better than any trim that you'll find with this Ram. So more fuel options in the Sierra, but since most buyers aren't going for a diesel in the light duty segment, I think this engine still is just better. And Ram's ride is better. I'm driving the Warlock now, which is the off-road version. It's got the all-terrain tires, it's a lift. The Rebel is the more serious one. It's got optional air suspension. And the air suspension is something that Ram has that no other truck has in this segment. Electrics maybe, but not this, not for ICE. This one honestly rides fantastic without air. It always has, including the previous generation. The ride quality here is exceptional. It really is. It's so car-like and it's so solid. So the fact that it rides so well, and this is the supposedly off-road trim with more aggressive tires and suspension tuning, still rides better than that Denali Ultimate. And on the tungsten trim or the limited Longhorn, the Laramie, all those, it's significantly better. The Ram's on-center feel is more direct across all of the Ram trims, so I really like that. Body roll's a bit better in the GMC. When it comes to braking, Ram fits the largest front brake rotors in the class. They're almost 15 inches in diameter, and that makes a big difference when you don't have anyone or anything in the truck, and a whole lot more when you got, say, 10,000 pounds behind you. There's 2 inches of extra headroom and 3.5 inches of extra legroom in the front seat here on the Sierra 1500 versus that Ram 1500. Now on this trim, you're getting 16-way heated, massaging, and cooled front seats. But what's interesting to note is that if you want a bench seat, you can get that on many lower trims, SLT, SLE, Elevation, and you can get heated and cooled outboard seats with leather, and that is not available with bench trims on the Ram 1500. The Denali Ultimate feels like a beautiful baseball glove. There's brown full-grain leather, which is very soft, including the embossed section on the door panels. The wood is really thick, and there's multiple stitch designs, inner and outer piping, double cross-stitching. There's a lot of really nice detail here, including some genuine aluminum trim. Now, I think the execution here has really elevated the Sierra, but compared to the Ram, well, the Ram has even nicer seats when you go higher in price. A bench seat is standard on the Tradesman, the Express, this Warlock, and it's optional on the Bighorn. And no matter which Ram trim you buy, you're getting a quality interior with good fit and finish. In comparing the Ram against the Sierra, you'll have to watch Natalie's review of the Tungsten. And in that interior, the leather quality, the stitching, everything is a step above even the Sierra Denali Ultimate. There is so much going on in that interior, and Ram has already been leading the interiors for all luxury pickup trucks for some time. Admittedly, inside this Warlock, it's a lot of basic materials in here, but the quality overall is still pretty good. There's just slightly more headroom here in the back of the Sierra. Part of that is due to the fact that there's no panoramic moonroof that's offered on this trim. Lots of legroom, all really nice leather, continuing on these back door panels, also nice and soft, heated outboard seats. And there's also just nicer details here on these back mat pockets. There's 2 more inches of legroom in this Ram versus the Sierra. That's a really big deal. And if you're going for all the upper trims, the leather quality and the appointments are even better. Between these 2 trucks, it's the Ram that has the higher towing capacity. It's over 11,000 pounds. But when you compare all of the trims, the Sierra has more towing, just over 13,000 pounds on specific configurations. Now, both of these, if you're comparing the Tungsten, they're roughly about the same there, 9,000 or so-ish pounds that they recommend, because these are the luxury trucks we're talking about, not the work trucks. In terms of payload, though, the Sierra still, in this Denali Ultimate, can have more than several hundred pounds extra versus a Ram 1500 Tungsten. But the Sierra has a low-cost option. It's a carbon composite bed, that's what you'll see here. It's supposed to be stronger over the long run, more resistant to scratches, and it eliminates the need to have a spray-in or a drop-in liner as another extra cost option. There's a lot of space in both of these beds, and with both trucks you can either get a short or a long bed depending on what you want. Crew cab, quad cab, all of that good stuff. Plenty of configurations. A 13.4-inch touchscreen with Google built in, which you can access here. Google Maps, Google Assistant. This is all standard on every single Sierra trim except the Base Pro, which has a much smaller screen and an older dash. Wireless Android Auto, CarPlay, all that good stuff. A Bose Centerpoint audio system. I like the fact that you can adjust different settings, see things over here, and also analog controls. Everything analog for the climate, the cooled and heated seats, plus more controls here for the tailgate and other vehicle functions. There's also more knobs on the left of my knee here because that's really helpful for lights and 4-wheel drive modes, all that good stuff. So while it's digital, there's plenty of easy to use controls here. Lower trims of the Ram 1500 have this 8.4-inch touchscreen. It's more basic, but it still has wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, enough apps. There's no navigation on this trim, but there's plenty of analog controls, which I really like. Mid-level trims of the Ram 1500 have a 12-inch screen, but this one, the Tungsten, has a 14.5-inch vertical touchscreen with another passenger touchscreen with more functionality while the vehicle is parked or in motion. And when you go into the system, you'll find that it works pretty quickly, has a lot of unique features. 360 cameras are really even better than you'll find in the Sierra. Plus, there's an even better stereo system made by Klipsch. Everywhere you turn, from the air suspension controls, the hard touch points for the climate controls, there's more to love inside the Ram. The 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 starts at $41,000. There are 8 trims. The one we tested, the Denali Ultimate, $87,000. The 2026 Ram 1500 also starts at $41,000. There are 10 trims. The one we tested, the Warlock, $57,000. If you compare the Ram 1500 Tungsten with all of the options comparable to this GMC, it would cost just over $90,000. From all of our experience at CarGurus testing multiple variants of the Ram 1500 and the Sierra 1500 for many years, I have to say the Ram 1500 is still leading the way. At the top of the price point where the Sierra 1500 here competes with, the Ram is just offering more power, more luxury inside, and even better build quality. And if you're going lower, the Ram still has a better ride. And the Hurricane Inline 6 is outperforming pretty much all of the engines on the GMC except really the turbo diesel for all of that grunt and efficiency. What do you think? There's so many other trucks out there and a ton of truck reviews on CarGurus. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and we'll see you next time.